The Google one? Yeah, but we'll, file. I know there's someone else that we have to add. Oh, did somebody get, she emailed last week?
All right, get this party started. All right, is everybody ready to go?
Ready.
All right, super excited about today's class. This is probably one of my most favorite subjects, and we're gonna start with a video. So if we could get that first video dialed up, that would be great.
For 10 minutes about how bad social media was, because it put democracy
Rewind that a
on
little
the
bit.
brink of its knee.
Okay.
I literally had CEOs of companies yelling for 10 minutes about how bad social media was, because it put democracy on the brink of its knees. And then we would switch over to business, and they would then explain to me how social media can't sell their products the way that. I was like, let me get this straight. Social media is powerful enough to put democracy on its knees, but it can't sell lipstick. Get the hell out of here. I was created and build businesses.
You guys hear the video?
You have one missed call from
You
Eric.
paused the video?
Would you like?
No, on Zoom, we can't hear it.
Do they hear us?
You can hear us, but you can't hear the video?
Correct. The video started out kind of coming in and out, and then it just stopped coming in at all.
What about go to share? Share? Share. Share screen, you want to go to advanced? Computer audio. Look at share. Okay, now play the video and see if that works. Where's the video? Tell me if this works,
Would you like
Tracy.
to play the message?
Why is organic social media the most important thing in business, yet nobody's looking at it?
Yes.
Okay, can you just back it up to the
You know,
beginning?
it's an afterthought, and a nice to have, when it. I literally had CEOs of companies yelling for 10 minutes about how bad social media was, because it put democracy on the brink of its knees. And then we would switch over to business, and they would then explain to me how social media can't sell their product the way that print. And I was like, let me get this straight. Social media is powerful enough to put democracy on its knees, but it can't sell lipstick. Get the hell out of here. I've been created purchase and build businesses.
I can't hear it anymore. I don't know about anybody else.
Go to the share thing again and try to share the video. See if that'll work. Share video. Oh, that's. It worked last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
Were you doing it last week or was she doing it last week? You were doing it last week? You're not doing anything different. I don't know what the deal is. All right, I'm gonna play it for everybody in the room and then hopefully other people can hear it. We're gonna have to troubleshoot this. If anybody else in Zoom cannot hear it, let me know.
I can't hear it either, and I was wondering if you could drop the link in the chat box so I could go watch it and then come back to this Zoom call.
Okay, can we do that? Can we drop the link in the chat box so they can, people online can hear it later? It has subtitles, so I think that might help, but we'll see. Let's go to more and then that's where the chat is. Okay. Chat. I just started to get back to the people in the room.
From the beginning.
I literally had CEOs of companies yelling for 10 minutes about how bad social media was, because it put democracy on the brink of its knees. And then we would switch over to business, and they would then explain to me how social media can't sell their product the way that print. And I was like, let me get this straight. Social media is powerful enough to put democracy on its knees, but it can't sell lipstick. Get the hell out of here.
Look at that box right there.
You have one missed call from Gary Vaynerchuk. Would you like to play the message?
Why is organic social media the most important thing in business, yet nobody's looking at it? it's called day trading attention. And the thesis is, we've never been a time in marketing in the last 100 years where you can steal it or you can get murdered. The reason I use day trading is there's two different ways to invest. You make different big bets and you go to sleep and you know that your grandkids are going to be happy or unhappy. Or day trading, you're making the margins hour by hour. Marketing used to be the other way, 9 months, you know, we're going to plan the campaign and we're going to pray that it works out. And now it's, if you are not marketing every single day, so it's hard. The hardest thing in the world to do in marketing is social media. And yet, it is the team. And what I mean by that, I mean it's the thing that most people don't actually really care about. Marketers, business people, sales people like ourselves, will go to a dinner table and we've got conversations about social media on two fronts. One, how it's ruining the country. Two, how it's ruining our children. I literally had CEOs of companies yelling, pretending about how bad social media is, but democracy on the brink of its knees. And then we would switch over to the next once we were done with our opening cocktail and letting that person rant and they and explain to me how social media can't sell their product the way that print can. I was like, let me get this straight. Social media is powerful enough to put democracy on its knees, but it can't sell lipstick. Get the hell out of here. This is where you get out. Well, take more seriously a 30-second commercial and spend more money on the catering of that 30-second commercial and the T&E of that 30-second commercial than they'll spend on their entire year of social, which is why they're also reliant on it. Monster though, what I did for a living is try to get you in a place where you're not at the mercy of your influencer and not at the mercy of the celebrity and not at the mercy. Otherwise, they're like,
Stop it. Okay, so so if you couldn't hear the video, go back and watch the video after this is over. And for everybody who did not understand that, because that was a little esoteric in a lot of ways. But what I want to go through is I don't know why people are calling me on step one of our process to get you to 6 to 7 figures in real estate. We talked about mindset last week. What we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about online presence. The backbone of online presence is social media. Social media is such a big part, and we are not embracing it the way we are supposed to be embracing it. And I'm going to tell you the big 3 for anybody who's not on social media, not using it and afraid of it and want to do like the bare bones, which I think is most of the real estate agents that are out here, are these 3 platforms, without a doubt. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. These are the 3 that are by far the most important. How many people do we have on Zoom right now? Couple? So, I mean, I would love to hear anybody on Zoom or anybody here in the office, like what your thoughts are on social media and where are you at with it? Are you in the beginning? Have you been doing it for a while? Are you scared of it? What do you think?
For me, honestly, something new, and I never thought that it would be something that I would like to, but now that I'm in business, I think that it's something that I really needed, and that will help and also boost my business. So I'm really started to think about to start social media because that will help my business. And it's those changes is maybe sometimes I didn't thought that I want to do it. Now I'm definitely will be so helpful and I will start.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people don't understand how valuable it is. And it started out I remember when I first got on Facebook, I was asked, I went down to like an admin in the area of the office that I was at, and I was like, hey, are you on Facebook? They're like, no, how old are you? Because at the time, Facebook was for like 12-year-olds. And I was like 20-something-year-old guy like getting on Facebook, because when I saw this, so I met Gary Vaynerchuk at a book signing in Pasadena, and I saw what he saw based on all the social media stuff that he did. I found Gary Vaynerchuk before he ever wrote a book, before he ever did anything, when he had his wine library show, when he was sitting in like a room with like a desk and a video tasting wines and telling everybody like what he thought of the wines, and it was super entertaining. And I went back to his version of social media to where when his first episode of Wine Library, which was like very blasé, very boring, and then like hundreds of episodes later, it like transformed and he became one of the biggest wine people in the world. And now he's one of the biggest social media people in the world, because what he did is he doubled down on all his visions and all his thoughts about social media. And it's just grown from there. And so when I first got on Facebook, like it wasn't anything. No realtors really knew about it. Nobody really did anything about it. And I started playing with it, doing all these different things. And now, like all these realtors are on it, and like the young kids are not on it anymore. They don't have accounts anymore. And like it's for your grandma and your parents and so on and so forth. And now people are gravitating towards TikTok and all these other things. So if you look at my 3 things that I tell you you should be on, Facebook is number 1. And that's because a lot of realtors are on there and your clients are on there. Everybody that's thinking about buying or selling is probably on Facebook. If the younger demographic that's after 18 that can buy a house and so on and so forth, if they're not on there, they're on Instagram. We're just starting to get some of the younger people on TikTok that can buy, but it's not as relevant as these 3. LinkedIn is business to business. These are professionals. These are people that are making, I think the average net worth on LinkedIn is like $150,000. Like that's the yearly income. And that's if you have $150,000 a year, you should be able to buy a house. So these 3 are super important for you to be on minimum. And if you're like, well, I'm gonna get a Twitter, I'm gonna get a YouTube, that's great. But if you can't manage these 3 by yourself, then don't go off and open a YouTube and do all these other things. You should be able to manage these on a daily basis by yourself consistently. If you take 30 minutes out of your day, find content, post content, do different things. Now, how to do that, that's a whole different conversation. But my goal is to help you get onto social media and start doing the consistent behavior, because we all want clients, right? We all want business. We want people to call us. That's part of what our business is. Well, people out here are looking for help. People out there are looking for certain things. You can get people's attention, because the number 1 thing in business, whether you're trying to sell houses, whether you're trying to sell hamburgers, it doesn't matter. You're looking for attention. You want people to pay attention to you. You want people to come into your store. You want people to look at your stuff. You want people to call you. You want the attention. So the attention is the key. And now, if you get on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, you just post, you're not necessarily going to get anybody contacting you, because that's called push marketing. That's just like you're sending out a postcard. You mail out postcards. Anybody know what the return on investment of a postcard is? It's like less than 1%. And I remember like I used to do postcards, and I'd get people call me and go, wow, I just got your postcard in the mail. I get really excited. They're like, it's a really cool postcard. Who did it for you? Like it was another agent. So if you just do push marketing, that's kind of like noise in the background for a lot of people that are out there. You can't post and expect a phone call. Like you can't send out a mailer and expect a phone call. The number 1 way to get business is to engage with people. That's why door knocking and cold calling is so good, because you're actually calling people and talking to them. With social media, it's the same thing. So I'm trying to gain awareness for a lot of my programs and a lot of things that I'm doing here. So what I'm doing is I'm going into groups on Facebook, and I'm looking for people asking for help. Like how do you do social media? How do you do Instagram? How do you do a sphere of influence? How do you do and then I reach out to them. I say, hey, I have some resources for you. Can I give them to you for free? And then what happens is those people are like, oh my God, can I get that too? Can I get that? Here's my email. Da, 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 da. And I like literally did that last week, and I got 30 people sending me their email address asking for my resources that I'm giving away for free. So that's me reaching out and offering help. You delivering value to people the best way to deliver value to people and to stand on a building and scream, hey, I'm really good at what I do, let me help you, is through social media. There are billions and billions of people on social media. When I started in real estate in 2003, YouTube was not a thing. YouTube was not a thing. Facebook wasn't a thing. Text messaging wasn't a thing. None of that was even around. Some of y'all weren't even born. Were you born at that time? You're like one. So now that all this is there, this is literally audiences just sitting out there waiting for you to contact them. So on the sphere of influence thing you have over here, you see the right before strangers, it says audience. These are people that are looking at you and seeing all of your stuff and watching you do things. So the things that you do, you can see them. You can go see who viewed your profile. You can see who's looking at your stuff. When you do stories every day, one of the ways I recruit to the office and recruit to our team is that I'll post things very purposefully on my story. And then I'll go to view the story to see who's looked at it. And then I'll contact them. I'll go, hey, what's going on? Now, it's not a cold reach out anymore because I know they're looking at my stuff. So it's different. And if you post things and you're only getting 1 or 2 people looking at your stuff, the way you increase that is you post more. If you want to increase your followers, if you want to increase all the things that you're doing on social media, you have to post more stuff. And you have to evaluate it when you post it. When you post it, you look at it, how many views, how many likes, how many this, how much you get. And honestly, if you post something in the morning yesterday, and then you don't post anything for 2 or 3 days, you can't expect anybody to see it. Because did anybody ever watch a TV show on TV? Ever watch, what was the TV show you used to watch on TV? You watch anything?
Shameless.
Shameless, okay. You watch anything on TV?
Friends.
Friends? You watch anything on TV?
Yeah, they're flipping houses and stuff.
Right? Friends? Oh, Friends is popular. So does anybody remember what day and time Friends was on? Do you remember what?
Thursdays at 8.
Thursdays at 8. She knew exactly what she's watching, what day it was. And guess what? How long has it been since Friends has been on TV? Years. But now let me ask you this question. Thursdays at 8. You're watching Friends Thursdays at 8, right? Next Thursday comes around, it's not on. Next Thursday comes around, it's not on. And then it shows up on Wednesday at 10. And then it shows up the next day, Tuesday at 4. How likely are you going to keep watching it if that happens? Your social media is the same way. The reason television shows are so popular, it's because the consistency of the broadcast and then the quality of what's being broadcast. I cannot tell you, there are TV shows out there that have been amazing. Amazing TV shows, great content. Got people, millions of people are watching this TV show, and then because something else is better, they take that TV show and they move it to a different time slot. Have you guys heard about that? Like, oh yeah, no, Tuesdays at 5 is amazing, they're crushing it, but this one's probably gonna do better, so we're gonna replace it and move this other ones to Fridays at 8. Well, Fridays at 8, everybody's going out, right? So now that TV show is at a different time slot, hoping that it'll improve that time slot or that it'll do just as good, and sometimes it doesn't, it dies, and then it goes off the air. Not because it was a crappy TV show, because they changed the consistency in when they were playing it and lost their audience. If you are not consistent with your social media, it is the most powerful and the best thing you could be doing for your business because it is free marketing and it gives you the power that major corporations have. Coca-Cola, IBM, Apple, Google, like all of them. It gives you the same amount of power because you have the same tools that they have. The only thing they have different than you is the dollars. But if you're not consistent in your behavior, what do you expect your audience to do? You are not so famous to where you can just randomly post whenever you want to and people are going to follow you around. Very few people, even large corporations, are that powerful. Very few people are going to seek you out to find you. You have to seek people out. You have to be consistent. Now, if I tell you what I think you should do on social media, you're going to probably shut me down and not want to listen to me anymore. But you should be posting 5 to 10 times a day in some way, shape, or form through these different platforms, constantly showing your value, showing different things. Like, Yakov, you play piano. You could do things with piano. Because when I'm talking about posting in social media, I am not talking about real estate all the time. Is there anybody that you know in real estate that you just want to go to and listen to all their real estate stuff every day consistently? No, me either. I only want to listen to myself every day.
Yes,
Pete?
for me.
Yes, for you. So I always take this back to the Kardashians. Because I'm like, what do the Kardashians really do? Like, what do they really, really, if you go back to the beginning, people watch them because they're super curious about their life and the things that they're interested in. And then they slowly became famous and blew up over time. But they don't really do anything, and we're curious to see what they do because it's all personal. And the social media aspect is so key to where if I can get agents to stop posting about business and post more about personal stuff, and I get told this all the time, nobody wants to see what I'm doing. I'm boring, nobody cares. Well, the Kardashians aren't that super interesting either, right? They're not. It's like you watch it because you're like hoping for a train wreck to happen. And if you watch the previews, they preview the train wreck. Like there's a fight between so-and-so, there's a this and there's that. But if you are consistent, people are interested in you and what you do. Like, what do you do that's super amazing, Yakov? What do you do that's amazing?
What do I do is amazing.
Uh-huh.
Playing and teaching
Playing and teaching what?
piano.
Piano. Now, does any of your people know about that? Have you played and taught everybody you know?
Not ever.
You can. Do you know how? You video yourself. You video yourself you're playing, you give piano tips, lessons I've learned from piano that have helped me in life. Like you can teach people piano through video just by showing what you do. How did you learn? What did you struggle with? Who's the most famous person you taught? How many people have you taught? Like we could sit down and come up with like 1,000 different things you can just randomly talk about. But if you do it yourself, it's super authentic. And if I had to tell you, I think it should be 80-20 personal, business. Why 80-20? Because do you guys see anything online or on TV about real estate, about interest rates? You guys see that, right? Like people talk about interest rates in real estate almost whenever you turn on the radio or whatever, especially in California. So why do they want to hear it from you 100% of the time? Nobody does. Nobody does. But they need to know that you're in real estate. They need to know that you know what you're doing. Right? Like if you go walk around and look at open houses, like do a story. Like coming out to this $12 million property in Malibu and do stories about things in real estate that you're doing. Like like Tracy and I will go on a vacation somewhere. I'll take a photo of like a house and I'll be like, oh my God, this is like $800,000. It would be like 10 million in LA. Like I would do something like that. You know, just little things connecting myself to real estate. But then the 80% is personal. People in business want to know you, like you, and trust you, right? Know you, like you, and trust you. So all the people in your database probably know you in some way, shape, or form. Do they like you? How do you get people to like you? So in negotiating, what I've learned is that the way that I get people to like me when I go on an appointment that I've never met before, it's called mirror and matching, right? If they're sitting there and they have their arms crossed, you know, I cross my arms or something. I try to repeat back to me what they say. So they like to hear their own words. I make sure I know their name. There's all these little things that I do. But another way to say mirror and match is to create commonalities. And people will like you when they feel like you have something in common. Oh my God, I have dogs. Oh my God, I have 3 kids. Like if there is a single parent with children that would ever sit in my seat to come to my office, I'd almost have 100% closing rate. Because I was a single parent with 3 kids for so long that like, I sat him down and like, we just had immediately things in common because we were single parents with kids. You know, if anybody, I remember one of the toughest listing appointments I ever went on. I had an agent come to me and go, oh my God, I got a sign call. It's like the most expensive house in this city. And I'm scared. And I'm like, well, let's go. And so I went with this agent when I was a team leader. I went with this agent to this property and, you know, I had no clue. I knew about the property. I did my research, but I walked around the house. And when I'm walking around the house with a client, I'm looking for commonalities. I'm looking for things to connect with that person. Do they have kids? Do they have a wife? What does the wife do? You know, what hobbies do they have? And I remember we walked in and he opened his garage door and he had a dojo, martial arts. And in my mind, I was like, Yahtzee, yes. Because I've been in martial arts since I was 16. Like I've competed at super high levels. Like I used to have massive trophies. Like I was like, oh my God. I'm like, how long have you been doing martial? And we knew a few of the same people in the martial arts community. And it's like, we stopped talking about the house. We talked about martial arts. So we sat down at his table and it was like an amazing listening appointment. And what happened was we got to the closing part where our conversation was over. It was time to put up or shut up. And I asked him, I said, so are you ready to go? And he said, you know what? I'm actually, and this is the first time I heard this. He goes, I'm actually talking to another agent who's with Keller Williams as well. And this is the part where you usually go, oh shit, because now you have competition. I wasn't too worried because, you know, I had a pretty decent track record in the past. I was running an office. And so like I had a lot of power. But then he was like, I don't want to say the guy's name because this is going to be recorded and put up. But at the time, he was the #2 agent in the San Fernando Valley and Santa Clarita Valley area. He did somewhere around 100 transactions, 100 million in sales. He was #5 in the world for Keller Williams. Super good friend of mine. I was like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, oh shit. Like, if I don't get this, I'm not sad because the guy's an amazing agent. Still today, he's amazing. He's a beast. I don't sell nearly as much as this guy does. Not even close. And when he said that, I was like, oh crap, in my head. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what? He's a really good guy. I know him really well. We've been friends for probably 8 years. I'm like, you know what? If you picked him, you'd still have, that would be a good thing. And he said to me, he goes, you know what though? I like you. He reached up, shook his hand, and we got the listing. So the commonalities thing is really, really super important. So if you have this audience on the outside of your sphere of influence that you've never talked to, or you don't talk to a lot, and they're just watching you and everything you do, the best thing you can do is make it personal and start showing things that you do in your life. Things that make you relatable, things that make you likable, things that you like to do, because guess what? Somebody else is gonna like that as well. Somebody else is gonna think that's cool as well, and that's gonna pull them closer in your sphere of influence. Like when my wife does tremendous videos, she's really, really good at doing social media videos, reels and stuff like that. I mean, she used to be on TV, so like that's a whole thing for her. So she's really, really good and the camera likes her. When she does videos and the dogs jump off on her or there's something that she involves with the dogs or whatever, that is such a big deal and people really like that because people love dogs. If you have a dog and like you do something with it in your video or on your picture or photos, like little things like that, if you like to do darts, if you like martial arts, like whatever you like, if you start accompanying that in the things that you do, it's going to pull your sphere closer to you and make it stronger. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be about business. The business of real estate is about relationships. It's not about real estate, it's about relationships. You are not buying or selling anything. You're helping somebody facilitate that. So when somebody goes, I need a lead, you don't need a lead. You need to take the people you know and cultivate that relationship, because that one person that you're working on with that relationship, it's not about them buying or selling. It's about them telling all the people that you don't know about buying or selling. And social media is the best place to do that. And if you do not have your social media set up the right way, When I say set up, in every part of your social media, there's a bio. There is a place to put information about yourself. There's a place to share links. So like on Facebook, you should have where you were born, you should have your website, you should have your phone number, you should have as much information as you can put up there that's relevant. Do not put redundant information. And do not put, I saw a guy put somewhere between 10 to 15 different jobs on his social media platform. So you can do that. I don't recommend it because people like stability and consistency. And if you look like you've had if I put all the jobs that I've ever had on social media, there'd be like 500. Like you name the job, I've probably done it at some point in my life. And I always tell my wife, like, it's prepared me to be who I am. Like, so, but the thing is that people don't want to see that. And so like, if they look at your profile and you have like all these, no, put the last 5 at most of the things that you've done up there. And put your links, make sure if somebody searches your name and your Facebook profile shows up, they click on that there's a way to find you. I cannot tell you, every time I search somebody and I recruit somebody, I search them first to see where they're at, because especially if they're an agent that is trying to grow their business and has been in the business and they don't know where their business is that I'll search for them to see, is your social media off? Because if I'm thinking about buying or selling a house and I search real estate agents in Los Angeles, and you happen to pop up and you're one of the top 5, and I click on your name and I can't figure out how to contact you, there's 4 other people that will probably be a little bit easier to contact. I'm just gonna move on by. So you want to be easy to contact, and the best way to do that is to make sure that your website, your phone number, your email, all of that is congruent across all platforms. All platforms. Super important. I've had agents in my own office. I remember one time an agent in my office, somebody wanted a notary. And I'm like, oh, well, I know this one agent. It's so cold in here, I can't even snap my fingers. I'm like, some of us don't have a heater. So I knew this person was a notary, and I'm like, oh, God, they weren't in my phone. I didn't have them in my address book. I couldn't find the roster. And so I'm like, I'll just search them, search their name in Google. Facebook came up, click, no contact information at all. Found another link for them on some other social media for clicked on it, nothing. So you really have to make sure that your information is out there and congruent, because if you're on a social media platform, is everybody on a social media platform? Everybody? You? No? No?
I will.
You will?
I will start today after this one.
Okay.
I promise.
You are. Are you on social media?
No.
So I smell opportunity. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're not, because now you can start, and you can start the right way. I know Laura's not on social. Sandra is sort of on social media, but they're not agents. But the thing is that you have to make sure your information is congruent, because when somebody searches you, like, search yourself. Because let's say you meet a client and they're like, oh my God, I'm interviewing you and so and so and so and so and so and so. I always ask, how many people are you interviewing? And then I'll search to see what comes up. And I search myself all the time, because you never know what's going to pop up. I actually have a Google alert. And so if you guys don't know, you can go to Google and create an alert for keywords, like real estate Los Angeles. So what I did is I created a keyword alert for myself. So if somebody says my name, Frank Bernardo, Google will send me an alert. Hey, your name just popped up in this article in Washington. The IRS is like trying to find you. Like, no, I'm just kidding. But you can do that. And so I would recommend creating an alert for keywords of things that you think are important. Luxury real estate in Los Angeles, right? That way, when something pops up, nobody's going to call you and be like, hey, did you know about that one house in LA? And you'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're like, no, absolutely. I saw that article this morning. And then every day you'll get an alert. You just click on it. You see, like, skim through it to see if there's anything important. And if somebody does say something like, so I've had people put me in news articles and blogs and stuff like that. And it's really cool to say, oh my God, because then you can share that or you can comment on it. But it's important for you to know what shows up, because I know that if I Google other realtors that are successful, what's going to show up with them. And then if I know I'm in competition, I'll search what they're doing to see if I can improve or do better than what they're doing. So that's really important. So these three, Facebook. Now, the question I get with Facebook is, should I have a business page or should I have a personal page? You should have both. The reason you should have both is because personal is personal, and that's the way you can make friends and you can message with friends and so on and so forth. And you should have a business one that encompasses both your worlds. It's almost equal as far as what you're doing with them. But the business one, once you get to a certain level, you can actually advertise. You can do boost posts where you pay a little bit of money, and like when you get a listing, you put your listing on there, you'll boost the post, and then it'll go out to all of these different people based on the criteria that you advertise them. 100% you should have both. If you're like, no, Frank, I don't want both, call me and we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation on how it's super beneficial to you. And it gives you another link that goes out there. LinkedIn has a tremendous amount of business. This is a lot of B2B, but if you go to LinkedIn right now, it looks just like Facebook. They're like, you know what? Facebook is crushing it. We could do better, so let's basically copy them. Like, swear to God, it looks just like Facebook. So these are really two big platforms, but there are different things on LinkedIn that Facebook doesn't have that's really important. But it's basically your online resume. And Instagram, everything with social media and real estate is photo-based, video-based. There is no reason that any real estate agent should not have an Instagram and be posting something about Instagram. And I think, my opinion is that you should do videos. You should do videos with you talking, you should do videos of you doing things. Now, I know that there's a tremendous amount of real estate agents out there that don't want to videotape themselves or whatever. First of all, I don't like the way I look on video. I don't like the way I sound on video. I still figure out how to do it and still do it anyway. So I try to take my own advice. But if you don't like to do that, you can still do videos on an area, videos about properties, videos about different things going on, and you don't have to show your face. There's tons of ways to do that. And a lot of this social media stuff is a different class, and I don't want to get into it too much, but you can take photos and videos without you being in it and without your voice. There's actually a way to where you can record your voice and then it will dub your voice in a different way to sound different, so it doesn't sound like you at all. It's kind of crazy and a little cool at the same time. So there's really not a lot of excuses on why you shouldn't do this. All of this is exposure because you're looking for this. You want attention. Has anybody that has a real estate license in here had a come list me lead? Have you guys had a come list me lead where people are like, hey, Sandra, I'm thinking about buying or selling. Can you come over and list my house? Have you had that before?
Just once.
Just once? Have you had that before? Somebody just called you and say, hey, you know what? We just talked a couple months ago. Can you come list my house? Like, they didn't interview anybody else. They interviewed you and you got it.
They did it, but they already knew.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know what? Yes, I've had a few.
yeah. They're called come list me's.
Yeah, but those are real close friends, somebody that.
Right,
really-
but you don't, but you have their attention.
Yeah.
You get their attention and they pay attention to you and you are the one. You are, they're not talking to anybody else. And if you have their attention, that's when you get come list me's.
Can you please write what is it
What is what?
you just said?
Come list me leads?
Yeah.
That's just people calling you and telling you to come list their house and they're not talking to anybody else. That's all that is.
I thought it's some app.
No, it's not an app. It is not an app.
No, these are real
But-
close friends of yours.
And the way you get that is you have to get people's attention. And so all these people that are watching you, you have to pull them in. The way the video aspect of social media is so powerful because when people know you, like you, and trust you, they know you because they know you in some way, shape, or form, but they like you because you have commonalities and there's things about you that they think are cool. And you know what? If they talk, if they hear the iteration of what you're saying and the way your voice sounds and the different ways, they're like, wow, I can really relate to that person. The trust part is probably the toughest part. And with newer agents, I find it because you haven't sold very many things. So if you're a newer agent, you haven't sold a lot and you're not out there as much as you should be, it's gonna be hard for people to trust you. But this is where you can go to industry news and stuff the office posts, and you share it to your page. And I know people that have never sold anything, that people are like, oh my God, that guy's crushing it. Because all he's doing is sharing his friends, his teams, his office, all his stuff. He's sharing it out there. Hey, check out, just listed in Malibu, 3.5 million, and he shares something. There's nothing wrong with sharing things on social media as long as if it's not yours, you're not saying it's yours. You can't say something's yours when it's not. But you can say, hey, we just listed, we, meaning the office, Keller Williams, Westside, this just listed in Malibu. 3.5 million, 10 million, blah, blah, blah. And you're sharing all of that stuff. Or did you hear about this change in the law? And then you take things from Yahoo Finance, you take things from Inman News, and you reshare that stuff on social media, and you follow industries and you share that stuff. Then it gives the perception of, first of all, you know what you're talking about, and then you know what's going on in the market. And that gives a lot of value. So that develops and the trust. The more you do that, it doesn't matter if you get likes. It doesn't matter. Like people are like, oh, nobody liked it. I don't get a lot. No, 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 no. People are still seeing it. So the last part of the social media online presence aspect is Google. Google is the most powerful thing on the planet. There's really no argument with that because they have everything. They have email. If you ever wonder, if you have Gmail and you get little advertisements in your Gmail, you get that because they comb your email and they find what they think is important to you. Is that a little scary? Should be. But it is what it is. Like as long as you're not doing anything wrong, you should be fine. Everything you type into Google search, they keep. So if you type in ever, forever. If you watch, so my wife and I, we have these little TV shows that we watch together. We watch Dateline. Don't watch Dateline if you don't like things to freak you out because they talk about how they subpoena Google search documents when somebody kills somebody. And so like they can go back and subpoena all the things you search, like where to hide a dead body. Like that happens, right? And police has subpoenaed Google and they've said, listen, you're searching 3 days before that person passed away, where to hide a dead body. Like, come on. And so they keep everything. Now, I'm not saying that to freak you out. I'm just making a point that they are so powerful. And forever. Well, hold on. Hold on. This is fun. This is fun. I'm going to freak you out even more. Did you know that Apple, every time you do a search with Siri, you go, hey, Siri, blah, 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 whatever you say, they keep that too. Everything you've ever searched with Siri, they keep it. I just think it's fascinating.
And it's scary.
It can be scary, but like I said, if you're not doing anything wrong, what are you worried about? Don't worry about it. But Google being that powerful, name another search engine for me, somebody.
Bing.
Who?
Bing.
Bing, yes. When's the last time you went to Bing? Yeah. There's Yahoo.
Yeah.
When's the last time y'all went to Yahoo? Right? There's people who have, like, you know, Frank Bernardo at yahoo.com, and they never go to Yahoo to search. They just have this stupid email. And I tell everybody, just get a Gmail or get a Google Workspace to where you have your, it's a whole thing. But Google is so powerful that nobody else goes to anything else. So when somebody types into search, Sandra Killglass real estate, what do you want to show up? That is where a Google business page comes into play. Google business page is probably just as more powerful than your website. Because if you're doing LA real estate and you put enough stuff on your website, all this stuff, because what it does is it links to everything you have. It gives your address to where your office is located. It gives information, and then it gives you the most underutilized tool in the real estate business. Does anybody know what that is? Everybody goes to the wrong place. It's the reviews. Google reviews. Everybody wants to go to Zillow. Stop going to Zillow. Stop. Camera. Stop going to Zillow. Don't put your reviews on Zillow. Zillow is actually another real estate company. So why would you go to Remax and put your reviews on Remax? You go there because that's where the industry standard has led you, and that's where Zillow is really good at search. You can be too. You can be Zillow if you know how to set up your stuff right, which is what we're trying to do here. But if you get every person you've ever talked to and ever worked with again to give you a review, it will go on to Google reviews. And then when somebody searches for you before an appointment, they see your reviews, they see people that like you, they see people that said great things about you, all the amazing things you've done, and there's a link to your website and all that stuff right there in search. Most real estate agents don't have that. And most real estate agents don't even know what comes up when they search themselves. It's super powerful. So besides these three, Google business page, reviews. We have a review class that we did, that we have a copy of on this on our YouTube and on the site, that you can rewatch that class, and it'll tell you how to get like 100. It's like 100 reviews, right? 100 reviews like that. It's really, really good. It's by one of our friends. Questions? Questions on Zoom, questions in the audience.
I missed the mindset. It's everything.
Mindset was last week. I was just checking on that. Today we're talking about online presence.
But I need somebody to explain it and paint it to me. The mindset right behind you.
Oh, mindset is everything. If you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? You have to believe you're capable of being the shark. You have to believe it. Like if you want people to believe in you, you have to believe in yourself first. So it's all about mindset. If you think you're a janitor and you're going to be a janitor forever, you're never going to be the CEO. You said, listen, I'm the janitor today, I'm going to be the CEO tomorrow. I believe in that. I'm going to work toward it. And I'm going to do all these little things every day to get toward it. What can you do to make yourself 1% better every day? It's all about growth and about improving who you are. So it's like, man, you know what? I don't think right. I think negatively. I'm not patient, right? Get a book, read a book, 15 minutes a day, improve yourself a little bit. Like, I don't eat right. I'm not eating the right things. I just had a big ass cheeseburger. Like, okay, that's done. Eat something better today, right? It's 1% better, little increments. Nothing has to be overnight. Most people are going to do the same thing that they did last year. And instead of being a better year, it's just going to be another year of the same thing. And so it's the way you fix that. It doesn't happen overnight. There's no magic pill. There's no magic button. You have to slowly make business, like health is not there's no magic button to health. It's a process. It takes time. You're going to go to the gym and eat right today, and you're going to jump in the front of the mirror and be like, looks the same. Next day, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to eat right, you're going to jump in front of the mirror and be like, looks the same. You can do that for like a week, a month. But if you're consistent in months and in years, it will change. And it has impact, you just can't see it. The same with business. Like I'm going to tell you to post every day on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. You're going to post 10 times today. Nothing's going to happen. You do the same thing tomorrow. Nothing's going to happen. But in time, it will happen, guaranteed. It's consistency of behavior. The same thing we talked about a TV show, that if you play the TV show, like we know 8 p.m. Friday nights, Friends was on. But if they switched the time and date every week, like everybody'd stop watching it because they'd be like, that's trash. What's wrong with that? We're not that vested into Friends. Like, who cares about her haircut, right? Only the Friends people get that reference. But you have to be consistent in your behavior, and you have to realize the payoff's not going to happen today. It may not happen tomorrow, but if you're patient and consistent with your behavior, it will 100% happen. But if someone searches you, what are they going to find? 1, 2, 3, 4. These things consistently put together, consistent reviews, consistent posting, consistent photos, consistent posting, like it will happen. People, it'll be undeniable. I'm waiting for the numbers to come out. There's probably over My guess is close to 80 to 100,000 agents that have got out of the business last year. That's my guess. I'll let you know. This Wednesday at the team meeting is gonna be pretty powerful. I'm gonna bring a whole bunch of information, statistics. If you can hang on and stay in the business and you're consistent with your behavior and you try to make, like, your database right now, 300 people. Right? Everybody's got 300 people. I can prove it to you. We can sit down, I can fix it for you. All you need to do, this is all I'm asking you to do. I need you to put this together, post on it every day. And then tomorrow, I want this to go to 301. Right? The next day, 302. But what's gonna happen is that one day you're gonna be calling through your 300 and it's gonna go, oh damn, it's gonna go to 298. I still need you at 301 though. So that's gonna have to have like 4 people and then 5 people. But if you talk to everybody you see every day and make an effort to reach out to people, it's impossible not to fail. It really, really is. It's this consistency around the behavior. Make sense? Questions? Yeah.
Yes, I have a question about posting social media, like if we don't go to open houses
Uh-huh.
and we get permission to
Yeah.
record and make a short video. So when we post it, for example, on Instagram, do we need to add these people in the list in the post?
No, just, if you're going to an open house, just say, hey, are you okay if I shoot a couple of stories for my social media? Are you okay with that? Most of the time, they're gonna be okay. Depending on, like, if you have a $20 million house that's an actor's house or whatever, sometimes that might not be okay, depending, because like sometimes there's decor, there's pictures, there's certain things. We've had somebody that was with Disney one time and they're like, you cannot put those photos of the Disney things in a photo, you can't. And so like, you just have to be careful of that, so just ask. And what I would do is keep it super general. What you wanna do is you wanna show what you're doing, where you're at to give you credibility. You're not trying to sell the property, right? If you have somebody that's watching this, that's interested, they're gonna reach out to you, oh my God, where was that house at? I'm super interested, I'm looking for a property. You don't have to say, hey, I'm at 1214, Marina Del Rey Way, and this is 3.5 million. Don't do that.
And
Okay.
either,
Always get
and
permission.
either add the.
Always
the-
get permission.
And either to, rob the listing agent, like, her page.
Huh?
And either add the person, because during the weekend,
Yeah.
we went to look at open house 12.5.
Yeah.
And she gave us permission, so we record a few things. But I don't know if when it's time to post it on Instagram, do we need to add the listing agent into
No.
the post?
You don't have to.
Okay, got
No,
it.
no, no.
That's what I-
But what I would do is I wouldn't give like location information or anything super specific, because part of it is that you're trying to give credibility to yourself on showing what you're doing and that where you're at and that you're part of these high-end things. And if somebody is interested, they're gonna reach out to you. I've done that. I saw this one person that was like, did this video and they didn't put the price, but the video was amazing. I'm like, where is this? How much is it? And they were like, Austin, Texas, $10 million. I'm like, how can I get $10 million? Man, that's like the first thing my mind thought, because the house was so amazing. That's what you want. You want people to be able to get curious, but showing that you're doing those activities is really cool. And it put, like, if you're only showing 10 million up properties and that's what you're doing, people will start to associate you with that type of luxury. That's what you want, right? So, but it's consistency again. Any more questions?
I
Right.
have a
Yes.
question.
Yes,
I just sent.
and we'll play the last video.
You said to go and look at the high level property.
Uh-huh.
Can we have in the office this magazine?
Oh, we have that magazine. We have the MLS magazine, right?
No,
Stop sending them and I emailed them about it.
we don't.
We used to,
Yeah,
yeah.
can we have it on Monday? Usually we can have it on Mondays and Tuesday go.
I'll look at it, but what do you want the magazine for?
I'd like to know where I can go to look at the houses and
Do
Keller
you,
Village.
do you know where the best place to find that information is?
MLS.
Well, that magazine has a website. You
Yes,
just go to the
I
website.
know, but physically, but
I know, but I'm trying to pull you into 2024. All right, so the magazine, like magazines are going away for the most part. So so if you go to the MLS.com, if you're just looking for those or whatever.
this is easier way to look. Much easier.
Well, no, because now we have to order the magazine for you, so it's not easier. Yes,
Yes, about that, I went to Google as Frank is telling us, I went to Google and then just got open houses in Malibu. And then you go to the map and they give you the price.
I know that, but physically it's better.
You want the.
Many,
But I'm trying to, but internet is better. So, all right, guys, let's play the last video. You guys have questions, let me know. And thank you for coming.
Thank you. Is it close to the office?
Can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
Okay, so social media is really important, and there's just so many people that you could reach out to at once.
Yes.
But what about the people who are creeps?
Well, so, because Tracy used to be on TV and she has a lot of stuff that's out there, she gets a lot of those people. The best thing you can do is judge it by the post or the contact. So if somebody contacts, like, and I'll tell you what she does, is that she'll block them or she'll delete, just immediately, block or delete, block or delete. And you don't want people who are creeps in that to make these big decisions for you to keep you off of social media. So if people on there are bothering you, block them or delete them. If they're doing something really super bad, then let's report them and let's report them to the people that need to be, known about whatever they're saying or doing. So Tracy texts and people say some crazy things about her online and she just blocks you, delete them. Her block list is massive. Because she'll do things on social media and people will just say stupid shit sometimes. So that's my best advice for you. If you get a unique situation, let me know what that is and I'll give you some advice. But as far as generalities goes, that's my, and you know what? And I've heard this from women a lot. Like women will get crazy guys out there that are just stupid. They're just stupid. The best thing you can do is block or delete them and keep your stuff as clean as possible. But if you have a specific situation, come to me and we can talk about it offline.
Okay, thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, it was.
Very cool. All right.
Can I also ask a question?
Absolutely.
Is it possible you Google my name and tell me what I'm doing wrong or what should I do to get a better, for myself?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. I can do that. I can do that for anybody. If you want me to Google you, I can show you what comes up and I can give you some advice on what to do.
Thank you.
And last thing I'll tell you is that if you guys want help with social media, if you're like, I just don't want to do it, but I still want to do it, but I just don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. But how do I get somebody to do it? So leverage is key. So if you're at the point to where you can hire somebody, that's great. If you can hire a full-time person, that's even better. I have a resource to where you can hire somebody for $500 a month. They will create and post on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram every day, engage with people, help you get followers, and give you reports at the end of every week of what they did and how they did it. And it's basically somebody full-time for $500 a month. So if that interests anybody, because I get it, you don't want to do it, and I've tried to force people to do it. Some people just don't want to do it. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me. I'll help you out with that.
I also tried to do my website probably for the last 3-4 months in the office. It never happened. It just put my name in Keller Williams website, not my own. And I did pay.
Yeah, we can help you with that. So we can help you with that. So I'll get
I come tomorrow.
Okay. I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll get my staff to figure out a way to help you. Okay.
Thank you. So you're gonna do my Mimi's search, Mimi's name search?
I will. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. All right, here goes the video.
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep? have enough energy, don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity party. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity parties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7 star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me. Because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. It's game on. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
Poor audio.
Thank you, guys.
Can you?
Thank you.
Can you toss that, link, please?
Which one?
I want to see you 1,000 times. Yeah.
Oh, the
that's
video?
really-
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, please, 1,000 times.